Hello, my name is Tom and welcome to my channel that's dedicated to helping you live more joyful and more authentic lives. So today I'd like to share with you some tips on mindfulness basics, specifically what is it, why it's important, and how we practice some basic tips and exercises for practicing. So in a nutshell, mindfulness is observation. Mindfulness is noticing your present moment experience. It's noticing and observing your thoughts, your emotions, the sensations in your body. It's noticing what is going on for you in the present moment. Now, we're not trying to control the mind. We're not trying to control it or tell it what to do. We're simply observing it. We're observing it. And this is important because when we observe something, we can recognize the pattern that we're getting into. So often we do things on autopilot. We have a feeling and a reaction. Without even noticing what's happened, we're kind of reacting in the same old habitual ways. What mindfulness allows for is the ability to notice what we're feeling, what we're thinking, to become aware of that. And then that gives us a choice point of how we wish to respond. That's why it's so important. It stops us from responding in the same old habitual ways and allows us more opportunity. It allows us more space. It allows us more room to grow, so we can do things differently if we choose, to aid us. So, some of the ways that we can practice mindfulness are, and particularly coming out of lockdown, these are very helpful. You may want to choose to do just some good old-fashioned journaling about your experience, whether it's writing your thoughts and emotions down or recording them in a video or some kind of audio format, whatever works for you. Take the time to record your feelings. What thoughts and emotions are you having about coming out of lockdown? What's coming up for you? What would you like to do differently? You can also practice things like mindful movement. Mindful movement, take your attention into the sensations of your muscles, the sensations of your body as you're moving. Do your muscles feel tight? Do they feel loose? Do they feel restricted? Do they feel soft? What is the quality of the movement? How does it feel? It's about the sensation with this exercise. How does it feel? Take your attention into the sensations of your movement. Notice the feeling that you have when you stand up first thing in the morning. As you move around the house, are you moving at a pace that feels genuinely comfortable to you? Or are you moving subtly too fast? Do you want to slow down a bit? You can make choices here. Mindfulness allows us to recognize, to notice and recognize and make choices. We can also choose to, for example, to meditate. We can choose to create a focus for the meditation, whether it's choosing to, for example, to follow the breath, to feel its inflow and outflow, not trying to change it, not trying to alter it in any way, just staying with the natural flow of the breath. And you may recognize, as you're meditating, you may notice that thoughts and judgments come into your mind. That is okay, because again, we are not trying to control the mind. It's observing and noticing from that neutral perspective, in the same way that we're noticing a train on a train station platform. We're still the person standing at the platform. We don't have to be the thought or be the emotion that in this example is the train. We're the person standing at the platform observing. So in your meditation, if you recognize that you've drifted, that your focus has drifted away from your breath, and you're concentrating on your thoughts, or you're just drifting away with your thoughts or judgments, that is okay, because you have noticed. When you notice that you've drifted, you're practicing mindfulness. It's when you're not even aware that you've drifted and you've just become really wrapped up in the thought without even realizing. That's when we're not practicing mindfulness. When we are is when we recognize that we've got caught up in our thoughts or our judgments. In the recognition and the noticing, then we can gently bring our attention back to the object of the meditation, which in this case is the breath. You could have another focus for a meditation. You could also use plants. You can simply take your attention to a plant. Look at it, observe its colour, its shape. Take your attention to it. How long can you allow your attention simply to stay on that one pointed focus with the plant? Now you may notice that again, that your thoughts, that you drift, that your attention drifts away from the plant. That's okay. When you notice you have drifted, you're practicing mindfulness. You can gently, without judgment, bring your attention back. Remember, you're not trying to control the mind, just observe it. And the more you observe, the more you stay, you train and learn to stay with those present moment thoughts, emotions and sensations. The more you'll find a sense of spaciousness and ease. Because you're being in now, you're not stretching your energy away into the past and the future, creating tension. And now, just to add, there's an important note about the past and the future. Mindfulness doesn't mean that we never think about the past or the future. That's a misconception. It's simply, we can use the past as a point of reflection to learn and to grow, to see what we might like to do differently in the present. We can plan for the future. However, we can still be mindful because we take the focus of our attention into the present, or rather we anchor ourselves into the present. We anchor ourselves into the present as we are reflecting on the past, or as we are thinking about the future. An example of how we might do this. Let's say you're writing so you're thinking about the future, you're writing a plan, you're writing a simple plan for your shopping list. So you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about what you would like to buy. Yet you can still be mindful as you do this in the present, because you can take your attention into the thoughts and emotions that you're having. You can take your attention into the sensations of your body. You can take your attention into how it feels to type out the shopping list or write out the shopping list What is the sensation of your fingers against the keys or your fingers on the pen? How does the paper feel on your hand? Take your attention to the sensations in your body as you are writing your shopping list. So in this way, we anchor ourselves into the present, yet we can use the past or the future simply as points of reflection we may need to think about a few days ahead, a few weeks ahead, in order to organise our lives, a few months or maybe even years ahead if we're planning larger goals, like a move, for example, to another country or something like that. That's okay. It doesn't mean we never think about the future, and it doesn't mean we never think about the past. We can reflect on a lovely time we had going to see a play the other day, or a time with a friend or something like that. However, we take our attention into the sensations that we're feeling in the present as we reflect. How does it feel in our body as we think about that play in the past, that time with a friend? How does it feel in our body right now as we go into our memories? So mindfulness does allow for the past and the future. We just make sure that we anchor ourselves into the present as we're reflecting on the past or the future in these ways. So, just to recap, mindfulness is noticing, is observation. You're not trying to control anything. You're not trying to control anything. Simple ways that we can practice mindfulness include things like meditation, include things like mindful movement, paying attention to the sensations of your body. How does it feel? Are you honouring your natural pace? Do you need to change anything? We can practice meditation by focusing on things like the breath or a plant. These are objects that give our mind a new focus, so it doesn't get caught up in judging ourselves. And if we do drift away, if we do notice that our thoughts, if we do notice that our attention has drifted, that's okay. That's okay. We can bring our attention back to the object of the meditation. We can bring our attention back. And also mindfulness can include thinking about the past or the future. It's not entirely about the present moment, because we can use them as tools for reflection to plan and organise our lives. However, as long as we anchor ourselves into the present, as we're reflecting on the past, as we're thinking about the future, we're still staying mindful. So allow for that. Help yourself to organise yourself in a calmer way. And the more we practice mindfulness, the more we can allow for clear choices and decisions, because we're not going on autopilot. The more we can allow for relaxation in our bodies. We're not striving for the relaxation. However, it's simply going to happen. The more we bring our attention into the present moment awareness, the sensations in our bodies, it's like the relaxation is a natural byproduct. The point of mindfulness is awareness, and the byproduct would be calmer lives, more relaxation. So that, in a nutshell, is mindfulness. And feel free to practice it as you're coming out of lockdown, because it's so valuable and will allow you to process your emotional experience, will allow you to process what you've learned, what you feel now, what's really going on for you, how you want to do something differently, and whether you're honouring the pace of thoughts, emotions, and life and movement that makes sense to you. So practice mindfulness. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Tom. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and click the notification bell on YouTube for daily updates on my videos. Thank you very much. Take care.